Let's close the eyes and let's find a nice, naturally comfortable sitting posture. Let's become aware of the spine. Maintain a nice spinal posture, upright and tall. To feel the lengthening of the spine, pull the neck up gently. Push the tailbone down. Head, neck, trunk in alignment. Even though the intention is to maintain this tall and vertical spine, make sure there is no strain felt. So if you need to move around, wiggle around a little bit just to make sure very comfortable. Let the hands rest nicely on your knees or thighs. The buttocks resting very comfortably on the ground. Lift the shoulders up toward the ears, roll them back, let them hang loose. Very nice, comfortable shoulders. A few gentle neck movements, up and down, side to side. A few circular movements. Keep the movements gentle. Finally, bring the head back to the center, positioning the chin just slightly below the horizontal level. Comfortably relaxed neck and shoulders. Soften the facial muscles, relax the jaws. Begin to watch your breath now as you breathe in and out. Observe the flow at the tip of the nose. As always, enhancing the awareness just by becoming aware of the subtle cooling sensation in the nostrils when you inhale, warmth of the air when you exhale. Subtle sensations. Feel the flow, feel the sensations in the nostrils. Breath awareness, as always, we remind ourselves it helps us stay in the present moment. A simple technique, if you just have to develop that awareness that anytime you feel any kind of agitation, mental anxiety or stress of any kind, if you just remind yourself that if you take a few deep breaths with full awareness, might help you calm down. Let's recite Om 3 times. Take a deep inhalation. Om. Softly open the eyes. Namaste everyone, welcome. Welcome to day number 10. Day number 10 of this journey. Eventually becoming a lifelong journey. Why do we want to consider that as a lifelong journey? Because Patanjali says that, this practice has to be done for a very, very long time. Dirghakala. Dirghakala, he also goes on to say, later in chapter 2, he says that, look, this is not going to happen in one lifetime, so be ready, be prepared to extend it over multiple lifetimes. So we should be thanking ourselves that at least we made a good start. It's a long journey, but it's a good start. Okay. Let's do our eye exercise. And again, do that little box movement, rectangle movement. So head in the center, spine up. Let's begin by looking at the top left corner. Move the eyes down vertically to the bottom left, horizontally across to the bottom right, and then up to the top right, and back again to the top left. This is a rectangle, box-like movement of the eyes, smooth movement at each of the four corners. Give a brief pause, and during the pause, a little extra effort to stretch the eyes. And next time you bring the eyes back to the top left corner, just pause there briefly, and then reverse the direction. Now start by going horizontally across to the top right, down to the bottom right, across to the bottom left, and back up to the top left. So keep doing this movement without moving the head, keeping the eye movement smooth, not jerky movement. But at the corners, at each of the four corners, pause and stretch. Little extra stretch. Okay. Next time you bring the eyes back to the top left corner, pause there briefly. Bring the eyes to the center, and close the eyes. Yes, rub the palms briskly. Okay, a little cup over the eyes, covering the eyes softly, not pressing against the eyes. This should help us relax the eyes. Gently rub the eyelids, eyebrows. Massage around the eyes, massage the forehead lightly, sides, cheeks, neck and the throat. Slowly release. once again, softly open the eyes. So today I just want to briefly talk about, what kind of changes go on in the mind, what kind of transformations go on in the mind when we do meditation, especially when we become more and more comfortable with our meditation practice and we feel that it is getting better and deeper in that sense. Okay, so what kind of changes go on? So this is a topic which Patanjali has actually discussed in chapter 3 of the Yoga Sutras. Okay, so it comes up much later. I'm just jumping ahead just to kind of give you a feel, because everyone, Patanjali included, recognize that, look, when we are sitting for meditation, mind will be disturbed. Mind will have thoughts, all kinds of other things might happen, even feelings, emotions might happen. Who knows? Some negative emotions may come up, things happen. Uh, I still recall this was many, many years ago here when I was teaching the class. And after about 15 minutes of meditation, one person just started crying, uncontrollable. Some emotion came up, she just couldn't stop. Things happen. So Patanjali has given these transformations. He calls them samadhi parinama, ekagrita parinama, and nirodha parinama. Let's not go into the technical details here, but I have a picture of all the transformations that go on. Unfortunately, you won't be able to see the picture unless you log in. I'm going to share that picture. It was drawn by one of my friends. You can come here and then watch it maybe. You can see it there? Okay, that's fine too. Yeah, so I'm going to share it on the screen. It was made by one of our friends, Remember, we have a study group, Yoga Sutra study group. So when we were discussing that aspect of that part of the Yoga Sutras, that's when he decided to, he's an engineer, so he likes to draw everything, So we drew this very nice picture. Let me share that and I'll explain as we go along with that picture. The print may be not too big, but let's see if you can read the, how does it work? Okay. Are you able to read the letters at all? No?
Yeah.
Yes, Shiva.
So what it says is, there are 3 phases of transformation, all right? Let me just explain before I go into the picture, tell you what the thoughts are that Patanjali is presenting. That in the beginning, when you start the meditation, the thoughts that you have, what are they? Mostly related to your mundane day-to-day stuff. You have to feed your child, or you have a pet at home, you take the pet for a walk, things like that. You have plans for a party, or you have some project going on at work. So those are the thoughts that will naturally come up because they are the most active thoughts. Remember vrittis, and all these kleshas. We talked about kleshas, remember? Did we talk about klesha? No?
We talked about vrittis, but
Not klesha.
not in this class.
Kleshas are the 5: ignorance, ego, and all that. Raga, dvesha, no? I thought we did.
We talked about Raga and Desha, but not
Yeah,
as
that's
5
klesha.
kleshas. Not as 5 kleshas.
Oh, I see. Anyway, so these kleshas are like, all these causes of suffering. They start with ignorance of not knowing who we are, which gives rise to ego being very dominant. And ego gives rise to all these raga and dvesha, which is likes and dislikes. All these things are happening. And they are the causes for all these vrittis that are happening in the mind. All right. So now these kleshas, they can be on the surface or they can be kind of intermittent. One comes up, other goes back, comes up, goes down, etc., etc. These things are happening. What is most dominant in your mind, most active in your mind is the day-to-day stuff that you're dealing with all the time. Those are the thoughts which are going to come up in the beginning. Everyone knows that, right? And the Sanskrit word that Patanjali uses for that, he calls it sarvarthata. Sarva means all, artha means purpose, so basically your mind will be scattered all over the place. Okay? So that he calls sarvarthata, right? But then when you are sitting for meditation and you develop some level of comfort with your meditation practice, you will have moments where your mind will be one-pointed focused. It will stay focused on your mantra for some length of time. It will start to happen. It may not happen today or tomorrow, but you will find those moments, and those are the beautiful aha moments, when you realize that, oh my God, I was able to sit there. It feels it gives a very beautiful feeling inside, right? So he calls it ekagrata. So from sarvarthata, which is all over the place, ekagrata means one-pointedness. All right. So that's the state that I'm showing here. I'm also giving the sutra numbers, which sutra this, for example, this one he talks about in sutra number 11 in chapter 3. He calls it sarvarthata, scattered mind, and then it goes to ekagrata. In the second phase of this picture, I'm showing ekagrata, where mind can stay kind of one-pointed for some length of time. Okay, that he calls samadhi parinama.
You can zoom on the phone. Now, if you want to read.
Oh, I see. You can zoom on the phone. You read the individual letters much better. Okay. So that's the first. Okay, and this guy has shown the vertical, this thing quite wide. That means his mind is active all over the place. That's what he's showing here. That wave pattern showing much wider fluctuations of the mind. Now, what happens when you're able to maintain that one-pointedness? He says that for some time, you will have one-pointedness, but then distraction. One-pointedness, distraction. Okay? And he calls it ekagrata parinama. All right. So there's a subtle difference. These are minor differences, very subtle differences from sarvarthata, which he calls samadhi parinama, to ekagrata parinama, where your mind is able to stay one-pointed for some duration of time. Okay. Now, what might happen, when you have this level of comfort with your meditation practice, the mundane thoughts, the sarvarthata kind of thoughts, they might slow down. They may not disturb you as much. But then we have a whole world of memories from the past, right? There's a whole universe there. You've collected millions and millions of memories in our mental memory bank, and there are all kinds of thoughts, feelings, emotions. And this is what happens when your meditation deepens. It might come a time when a very deep-seated emotion might come up. And this is when people, get emotionally disturbed. Should you stop meditating? It depends. Okay, it depends. If it is disturbing you too much, stop it for some time. Kind of analyze the situation, think about it, and see why this has happened. If it is not bothering you too much, welcome it. What that means is cleansing is going on, that catharsis is going on. Okay, that will happen. Okay, so that situation where things start coming up from the deep-seated samskaras or the memories, the word he uses is vyuthana. Vyuthana. Okay, the next stage is vyuthana is the state where they're still outward thoughts. These thoughts are still going to go outwards. They are not inward thoughts. Okay, so they are going to take you out into your objects of desire, into outward world or things like that, but they are coming based on samskaras, based on past impressions. So mundane thoughts have kind of subdued, become less active, but now deep-seated thoughts from the deep memory bank will come up. They will bother you. And they can be bothersome. Sometimes much more bothersome than the mundane thoughts. But you have to realize that that's exactly what you're looking for, because that's doing this cleansing of the past impressions. And then once you start getting there at that spot, then there will be moments that ekagrata, which we said one-pointedness, will transition to something he called nirodha. Nirodha means total silence in the mind. Nirodha, full nirodha. Okay. So from sarvarthata to ekagrata, where all distractedness to one-pointedness. Then there will be moments of one-pointedness to one-pointedness, ekagrata to ekagrata. Okay. And then finally, because of this vyuthana, and from vyuthana to nirodha. All right. Nirodha means now you are able to feel that there is absolutely nothing going on in the mind, a sense of nothingness. Okay. And then, of course, it's a long process. Even though you may have a few moments of nirodha, but then, it'll keep going, vyuthana to nirodha, and all that. But eventually the nirodha will sustain. Okay. And that's what he calls, nirbija samadhi, where the total cessation of the vrittis has happened and you are able to just be there, happy. No worries, no changes in the mind, nothing going on. Always happy, always joyful, because that's the state you're looking for eventually. Like I said, Patanjali says it may not happen in this lifetime, but you get glimpses of it. You get glimpses of that. Okay, that sense of inner joy, you start getting glimpses of that as we sit and meditate. All right? That makes sense? Anybody have any thoughts or questions?
So Subhaji, one quick question. So you have been doing meditation for so long, right?
What's that?
So you have been doing meditation for so long. Just from your experience, do you revisit those thoughts still? Like,
oh yeah.
or do they actually disappear after some time?
It keeps going. The thoughts they keep coming, and when I'm analyzing my own meditation, sometimes I look at this picture. I'm still at the very first stage. Probably occasionally I get into ekagrata state, but I'm still at that same state of sarvarthata to ekagrata. I don't think I have graduated beyond that in my own experience. Okay, but it is joyful, as I said. Have other benefits that come, right?
Subhaji, so this state of nirodha, right? So it only happens when you are sitting meditation, or it also continues like when you.
Well, that's the whole idea. That's a beautiful point. That's exactly what we want. That once you have attained that state of nirodha, then the sanskara that gets deposited in the mind is called nirodha sanskara. That's what Patanjali calls it. Okay, and what he says that nirodha sanskara, it is able to suppress all other sanskaras. Okay, what that means is when you now come out of meditation and you're doing your day-to-day life, you may not have any distraction in the mind, and you are able to stay in that state for the rest of your life, basically. And in the Vedanta terminology, they call it, people who are living and yet they are liberated. Okay?
Those sanskaras will be carried forwarded, right?
Yes, then that's it. That's it. You know, once you have nirodha, which is sustained for a long period of time, you're liberated. You'll be still living in this body as a liberated being. As
There's
we
no
say.
going back.
Yeah.
That
There's no going back.
there is no going. Well, people have gone back. There are instances where people have attained that state and then still fallen back. I mean, everyone knows about Osho and all that. Those are the examples people give.
I think they willingly want to come back, to I think
Whatever.
to religion, whatever they want to do, right?
No,
To
what
do some
Subhash
great
is
work.
saying is
Yeah.
they're almost there,
Mm,
but then they fall in some trap.
okay.
Yeah. Osho is a good example.
Okay. Anybody else have any thoughts or comments? Please share.
Yeah, I think Subhash, in
Mm,
my
sure.
experience, what I've experienced is it's hard to tell. Like I think I go into a nice sleep. Like sometimes here and there.
That's again,
It's
it's
you get a
mentioned
nice.
in most texts will
sometimes.
tell you that sleep is a possibility. Okay, but that's a vritti, as we said, right?
Yeah.
Sitting in meditation, sleep itself is a vritti because it's going to cause further distraction in the mind, in some form or the other. Because that sleep may not be deep sleep, it may be disturbed sleep, or even with dreams. Sometimes all these things will happen.
So
Okay.
Swasti, I was going to add, similar to what he was saying, was, okay, we do all this to practice meditation, but it's the opposite is also needed. Like when we're not meditating, we need to be kind of
One point.
practicing the Yoga Sutra kind of.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's not just that'll help us here.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, we have to be, mindful of what we're doing, first of all, and keep studying, keep studying what Patanjali has to say, understand these concepts, and then apply these concepts into your own life, into daily life also. He has so many things that you can apply every day into your mundane day-to-day life. And then when you sit for meditation, again, go through these transformations. So it's an ongoing process. It's not something that might happen all of a sudden. Okay. But, you can look at that picture, whenever you have time, and then kind of think about it. It's a very nicely explained concept that Patanjali has done. He's taken care of everything. Like they always say, he's the greatest master that ever was in terms of yoga and meditation. So give full credit to him. All right. Okay. So let's get ready. If there are any other thoughts or questions, please speak. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and get some stretching going. All right. Open your hands and knees, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Keep the fingers wide. As you inhale, head up, tailbone up, flip the navel down. Exhale, round the spine. Lift the navel up, lower the chin down. Few more breaths like this. Finish the next round. Finish the exhalation. Bring the spine back to the neutral position, tabletop. If you feel comfortable, you can sit on the heels in Vajrasana, if that's comfortable. Always. Our practice Kapalabhati, cleansing, energizing deep focus. Always, every pranayama practice should build a deep sense of focus, deeply engrossed, focused on the rhythm of the breathing that you're practicing. The final sequence. Inhale and then forcefully exhale on the air. Apply the three bandhas, three locks, Mahabandha. When you have no air in the lungs, and apply the bandhas when you're doing the breath retention. Every one of these pranayama practices can be treated as a form of dharana, because once you're deeply engaged in the very deeply focused in your breathing, your rhythm, the mind becomes very steady, very still. Okay. Let's come to a standing position. We'll do just one round of Surya Namaskara today, just one round, and do a couple of other asanas that we do in a regular session. Give you a flavor of just 2 or 3 other asanas. Okay. Close to the top of the mat. Feet together. Exhale. Palms together. Inhale, arms in front, up and back. Look up and then pull the hands up and back. Exhale, bending forward. That's an easy move. Hands down. Palms close to the toes. Bend the knees, palms down, left foot back. Right foot back, knee down, buttocks down, chest up. Right foot back, downward facing dog. Buttocks up, heels down, chin down, looking at your knees or your feet. Your knees, chest, and chin down. Knees, chest, and the chin. Release the abdomen down, head up, chest up, palms up, legs up. Place the palms down. Do a little bhujangasana. Stay there. Cobra pose. Stay there. Cobra pose. Let's push the palms down. Lift the chest up. Navel is still on the floor. Bhujangasana. Push yourself back to the downward facing dog. Head up. Left foot forward. Between the palms, knee down, right knee down, and head up, chest up. Exhale, right foot forward. Straighten the knees, then bend over without bending the knees if possible. If you have to bend the knees, that's fine too. Bend them. Stretch the arms in front, against the ears. Slowly stretch up and stretch back. Look up. As you exhale, straighten the body and release the arms down. Relax now. That's the Surya Namaskara sequence. Today, let's do a balancing pose called the tree pose. Most of you know this, but this is a tree pose. You can move away from the mat. The mat is too much of a cushion, but you can stay where you are. That's fine. Remember the tree pose to bring the foot up on the inside of the thigh and lift the foot up high. The heel should be all the way up, and then you can fix your gaze at a spot. You can either keep the palms in the prayer position or raise the arms up overhead, all the way up. Fix your gaze. Balancing pose. Your gaze fixed at a spot might help. Slowly bring the palms down first, then release the arms and legs down. To the other side. Foot up, all the way up against the thigh. Heel goes up, toes pointing vertically down. Palms together first, and if you can, raise the arms up. Fix your gaze at a spot in front. Slowly bring the palms down and release the arms and legs down. Relax. Lie down on your abdomen, belly down. Relax for a moment. We will do this asana called the Dhanurasana or the bow pose. So forehead down, bend your knees, hold the ankles behind you. It's called the Dhanurasana. Lift the head up, chest up, push the feet back into the hands. So the feet are actually, you're almost like kicking the feet back into the hands. That will lift the knees up higher. Shoulders are rolled back. Beautiful stretch for the spine, arms and shoulders, abdominal area, upper chest, everything. Come down, keep holding on to the ankles. Just rest for a moment. We'll try this pose for a second time, but this time bring the knees and the feet close to each other. Together or close as you can get, and lift them. Lift up now. Head up, chest up, same move. And down. Release everything, come down. Relax for a moment. Slowly roll over, lie down on your back for a couple of breaths. Bring the feet together, stretch the arms back overhead. Stretch, pull the hands back, point the toes away. And as you exhale, come up to a sitting position from here now. Sitting up. Turn around. Stretch the legs out. We'll do this pose called the Janu Shirshasana, head to knee pose. With the right leg in front, fold the left knee. Bring the sole of the foot on the inside of the thigh, all the way back. Heel should be all the way back against the groin area. Stretch the arms in front, raise the arms up, slowly up, pull them up, and then as you exhale, begin to bend forward now. So you're trying to align the chest right on top of the thigh, and then slide the hands closer and closer to the foot. If you're not able to get to the foot, you can always use a strap. So inhale, pull the chin away to deepen, elongate the spine, and when you exhale, you can drop the chest down. Spine staying lengthened. Try not to round the spine. As you inhale, slowly raise the arms up, and then release as you exhale. Switch sides. Heel all the way back. As you inhale, raise the arms up. Exhale, bending forward. Nice and smooth, slow move with the breath. Finally, drop the hands. You can get the hands to the toes and feet wherever it reaches. And then chin away to keep the spine lengthened. And then exhale, you can bring the chest closer to the thigh. Inhale, raise the arms up. Exhale, release now. Go back to our comfortable position. We'll do pranayama now. So again, we'll start with one more round of Kapalabhati. So again, if you feel comfortable, sit up in the Vajrasana. All right. Same rhythm, 80 breaths per minute. Final sequence. Forcefully and completely exhaling all the air. When you're able to, hold the breath. Apply the Kumbhaka and the 3 locks. Done with the full sequence, just natural rhythm of breathing. Do one round of Bhastrika now. Bhastrika is where you are going to force both inhalation as well as exhalation. Okay. And you always do the arm movement. So when you inhale, throw the arms up, and you exhale, throw the arms down. Starting position. All right. Inhale, up, exhale, down, up, down. Inhale, exhale, up, down. Inhale, exhale. Force. Throw the arms up and down. Forcefully. Up, down. Inhale, exhale, up, down. Last one now. Final exhalation. Again, forceful exhalation, so you can still do the same sequence of the three bandhas. Exhale completely and forcefully, and then hold the breath, kumbhaka, apply the three bandhas. Alabhati and Bhastrika. The combination is beautiful, detoxifying, cleansing, energizing, heat generating. A lot of things are happening in the body at different levels when we do these practices. Okay. Now we'll do this practice called the Bhramari or the humming bee pranayama, humming bee. That means we'll create the sound of a nice humming bee. Do that during exhalation. Okay. So remember, there's a gesture we make with the hand, which is called the Shanmukhi Mudra. So the thumbs go into the, so everyone knows this technique. Does anybody need any instructions? Closing the six openings basically, and then inhale, exhaling, you'll make the humming sound, okay? 4 breaths, everyone count their own breaths 4 times. When you're done with the 4 rounds, you can release the hands down. For a moment, just stay with the sound and the vibration of this humming sound. Let that vibration fill every cell of the body, every part of the body. Okay, we'll do the final practice, the alternate nostril breathing. Vishnu Mudra with the right hand, Chin Mudra with the left. And remember, you're all comfortable now. At the end of inhalation, feel free to apply both the locks, chin lock and the root lock, okay? If you need instructions, let me know. I'm assuming everyone is comfortable. Go ahead and do it. 1-to-2 ratio is always the guideline, okay? Inhale and exhale ratio remains 1-to-2, irrespective of the duration of your breath retention after inhalation, all right? Keep going. As you finish the next sequence, finish the final exhalation through the left nostril. Take your time, finish the full round. At the end of that full sequence, then release the hands down. Regular, natural rhythm of breathing after that. Nadi Shuddhi. Shuddhi, remember the word Shuddhi means purification, cleansing. And Nadi is the Sanskrit word for the nervous system. In this case, nadis represent the subtle channels of energy, not the physical channels. Nadi Shuddhi. Okay, stretch the legs out, lower Raise the arms up as you inhale. And as you exhale, bending forward. Nice and gentle move. Keeping the spine lengthened. Every time you exhale, you may attempt to drop the chest down further, but only if it's comfortable. No strain should be felt. And the inhalation, raise the arms up, come up, and as you exhale, release now. Sit in any comfortable cross-leg position, any asana, with the eyes closed. Just go to feel the energy in the body. And we'll bring the hands behind the back, softly holding the right wrist. Yoga mudra. As you exhale, bend forward now. Keep breathing, stay there for a moment. And the next inhalation, nice and easy move as you come back up. Hands, legs, and you're ready for Yoga Nidra, deep relaxation. Lie down on your back. As always, we go through our sequence to tighten the body, tense up the muscles. That also brings a deeper sense of awareness. And when the muscles are tight, you relax better. Or relaxation will be deeper. So come up into the half boat, head up, feet up, legs up. Straight legs. So you will keep the legs very straight. Also keep the toes pointed away. That way your whole legs will be very nice and tight. Arms straight in front. Spread the fingers wide and tight. Keep the fingers tight. Make a fist with the hands. Let's rotate the wrists around. Take a direction, do a few rotations in one direction. We'll pause here and other direction now. Wrists. We will pause. Keeping the fist tight, we'll open the mouth. Extend the tongue out, curl it down. Eyes are open, and you try and tense up all the facial as well as the neck muscles at this point. With the fists tight, pull the hands and shoulders away from you. Squeeze the buttocks tight. Thighs, knees, kneecaps tight. Calf muscles, ankles. Point the toes away. One final effort to squeeze every single muscle in the body. So bring every muscle into your awareness. Squeeze the whole body tight, tighter if you can, and let go. Loosening up now. Try to bring the body into a state which is completely, naturally relaxed. You can spread the feet apart, almost the width of the mat, palms facing up if it's comfortable. Head in the center, eyes closed. So mentally, going to go through a scan of the body. And again, that same mind-body connection. Mind is looking for any sign of tension or fatigue or tightness in any of the muscles. It can send in a wave of relaxation. It will help you loosen up, completely letting go of that tightness. And as you do that, the muscles in the body, the limbs in the body, they begin to feel very relaxed. And that subtle heaviness on the ground. So feel the heaviness of the feet, legs, knees, thighs, buttocks. Feel that subtle heaviness, the entire back on the floor. Hands, forearms, elbows, upper arms, shoulders, neck, head. Every limb feels that subtle heaviness. Becoming aware of all the points of contact between the body and the floor, and feeling that subtle sense of heaviness of the entire body. Just let the body gently sink into the floor. It's very deep state of relaxation. Try and enjoy this deep state of relaxation. To do that, we'll set the intention that when thoughts come up in the mind, you'll become aware of the thought, but then pay no attention. Never get entangled. Thoughts will come, linger around for a moment, then go away. And you will continue to enjoy this very beautiful, peaceful states of the body and the mind for the next few moments now. transferring the awareness back to the breathing, and begin to breathe slightly deeper breaths. Just becoming aware of your rhythm of breathing. And then slowly begin to stretch the fingers, curl the toes, stretch the hands, feet, arms, legs. Stretch the arms back overhead. Get a nice stretch by pulling the hands back, pointing the toes away. Slowly roll to one side for a brief moment. Okay, let's come back up to a sitting position. Okay, finding a position that's very natural and very comfortable for our meditation practice. Always make adjustments if you need to. So your body is comfortable and you are able to maintain this position without movement. You know, the whole idea of meditation is to maintain your meditation posture as much as possible in total stillness. Okay, so today what we will do for our dharana practice is to do a little more deeper breath awareness first of all. So a little more deeper breath awareness, and then follow it with a technique we call breath counting. So we'll just count the breaths backwards. Okay, and I'll guide you through that as we go along. So once again, spine comfortably tall, upright but relaxed. Shoulders are loose and relaxed. Hands resting very comfortably on the body wherever they are positioned. Let's recite Om once now. Deep inhalation. Once again, just begin to watch the flow of breath at the tip of the nostrils. As you inhale, as you exhale, it's the same experience you've done at the beginning of the class many times. Just feel the flow of breath and also become aware of the subtle cooling sensation when you inhale and subtle warmth when you exhale. Focusing at the tip of the nostrils. The rhythm of breathing is natural, regular rhythm, no modification. gradually we're going to make an assessment of the relative duration of each inhalation as well as exhalation. So just kind of mentally figure the duration out. Maybe it can do a little count, Om1, Om2, but it's a very short duration because your breathing is very, very regular, natural breaths, subtle, soft breathing. Just feel the transition between each inhalation and exhalation. Becoming aware of the duration. You also want to observe if there is a gap, maybe a very subtle gap when you transition from inhale to exhale, exhale to inhale. Can you perceive a small gap? Maybe not. If there is no gap, is the transition very, very smooth? Now we'll shift the awareness from the tip of the nose down to the back of the throat area. And when you inhale and exhale, again these are natural rhythms of breath, no change, but see if you can feel the movement of breath at the back of the throat now. Gradually shift your awareness all the way down into the lungs now, and still maintaining your natural rhythm, no change. Just mentally visualize the expansion of the lungs when you inhale, softening of the lungs when you exhale. Pure mental visualization, regular breaths. And now shift your awareness to the very subtle movement in the chest area. Every time you inhale, you might feel that subtle expansion of the chest, and as you exhale, softening of the chest. Shift your awareness to the lowest part of the belly now and see if you can mentally visualize a subtle movement in the abdominal area as well. When you inhale, very gentle movement of the belly out. When you exhale, belly moving back in. Again, the movement may or may not be perceptible. So just see whatever you can feel in that area. slowly shift your awareness back to the tip of the nose. Again, watching the flow there for a moment. And this is where we'll now introduce the counting of breaths now. So every breath will be counted as one inhalation followed by an exhalation. So whenever you finish the exhalation, that's when you will make the count. So you'll start the count at 25 and then count the breaths backwards, 24, 23, etc., all the way down to 0. Remember, counting breaths. So every time you exhale, you reduce the count by 1. Now, what might happen sometimes is, when you're doing this count, if the mind gets distracted, you might lose the count. If you realize that you've lost the count, go back to 25 and resume the count there. Otherwise, try to do this breath counting 2 times. Okay? So start at 25, go back to 0, and again go back to 25, count backwards to 0. Again, anytime you break the count, miss the count, lose the count, go back to 25. Finally, whenever you're done with the 2 rounds, you can automatically, on your own, transition to your mantra meditation at that point. Keep going. awareness back to your breath, and again follow the flow at the tip of the nose for a brief moment. Becoming aware of the body, any physical sensations that you might feel in the body, just become aware. Becoming aware of the surroundings, any sounds that you might perceive, that you might pick up. Join the palms together now. We do the Shanti mantra. Inhale. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Lead me from unreal to the real, darkness to light, from the fear of death to the knowledge of immortality. Peace, peace, peace. Up the palms. A cup over the eyes, softly covering the eyes to relax the eyes. Release the hands, join the palms, raise them up, and as you exhale, bend forward. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. I bow down with respect to all my gurus, my teachers. Very special tribute to sage Patanjali. Slowly come back up. Before I say final goodbye, just a quick word that, so far in our meditation, I've been trying, kind of allocating about roughly 17 to 18 minutes. That's been my goal. But I think for the last 4 days, I'd like to allocate a little more time. Okay, so just to let you know that from tomorrow, you're more like 25 minutes of meditation, maybe a little less, but around that, about 5 to 6 minutes longer. Okay, want to be sure that you are comfortable. Thank you all very much. Namaste. Have a wonderful rest of the day.